Hi, everybody. Mitch Chabam here. Thanks for joining me today for this week's Security News Update. In the Security and Privacy Alerts Department, Pornhub was extorted after a vendor breach. This is interesting. Shiny hunters broke into a vendor named Mixpanel. Mixpanel does data analytics, and they compromised data for Pornhub, but also for other mainstream companies like OpenAI and CoinTracker. But the interesting thing about this from a Pornhub perspective is that the data is old. They haven't used Mixpanel since 2021, but the data is still there. And this is kind of the downside of leaving data around because, well, gee, we might want it for something or other. The result of this is that they now have a reportable breach. They're now going to have to notify their customers. Customers are probably going to be unhappy, and probably at least some set of customers are going to cancel their subscription, which, some folks would say is a good thing, and other folks would say is not so good. The data that was stolen included their members' email address, activity type, location, video URL, video name, the keywords associated with the video, what you were searching for, and the time. You can see that it would definitely be useful if you're trying to extort money from somebody who is less than excited about having that data become public. And that certainly would apply to anybody who's, say, a public figure. So, challenge. In the AI alerts, I'm just going to pick one or two out of this. OWASP, the organization, nonprofit organization that creates these top 10 lists of security things to worry about, has created a top 10 list for Agentic AI applications. And if you are developing AI applications, this is definitely something you need to examine. If you have questions about it, please reach out to us for sure. But definitely something to look into if you are involved in AI. And next, Nvidia is joining the large language model for real. They just released NemoTron 3, and 3 version of their business is selling chips, of course. So they're not selling this AI model, they're giving it away for free, which competes with their biggest customers like OpenAI and stuff. On the other hand, their customers really don't have anybody to go to other than Nvidia. They're an 800-pound gorilla in this space, so Nvidia can definitely do this and compete with their customers. The net effect of this, of course, is that you could run NemoTron 3 on your own computers, preferably, of course, with some Nvidia hardware, and not have to pay the cloud services. Several states have enacted AI laws: Texas, California, and New York. So, in spite of the fact that the president would like states not to implement AI laws, they are. And other than trying to sue states, which is, I think, going to be a bit of a dicey subject, but we'll see. That won't stop him from trying, but it is interesting. And since this is the new year, trends are obviously top of mind for everybody. In the AI department, according to Data Breach Today, they came up with their top 10 list. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. AI-driven manipulation of recovery systems, backup recovery, disaster recovery systems, will become a major attack vector. So using AI to do that is kind of interesting. And ransomware is going to use a new form of extortion fueled by leaks in synthetic data. So they're going to make up the data and then use that to extort you. The question comes up repeatedly: if someone sends a CUI in our commercial environment, can we just forward that to our GCC high environment and call it good? The answer is no. That would be a breach, a spill. You have 72 hours to report that to the DoD. There are ways of dealing with this, but that's not one of them. So if you want to deal with it and you don't know how to deal with it, then reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk to you. In the reference department, CISA has released version 2 of their cross-sector cybersecurity performance goals. That is a lightweight version of the cybersecurity framework. It's about 40 controls in it. And we're seeing organizations use that for lower risk situations. In the patches department, Apple is patching more 0 days in what they're calling sophisticated attacks. The definition of a sophisticated attack is one we didn't stop, of course. And so iOS and macOS 26.2 is the patch for that. And I think these are going to become more widespread. In the breaches department, Aflac has confirmed that they lost data on about 22 million customers. The thing that's interesting is they say they stopped the breach within hours. But even so, these guys were able to steal data on 22 million customers. So that's pretty impressive. And then also attacks against Prosper Marketplace leaked data on 13 million people. This includes social security numbers and bank account numbers, birthday, passports, and a bunch of other data. And 700 Credit is a credit service for auto dealers financing new cars. So together, that's about 20 million more people in addition to the 22 million people hit by the Aflac breach. So that's 40 million people, a big number. Non-human identities. These are identities that things like AI processes and virtual machines and stuff use are outnumbering human identities by 80 to 1, according to one report. And if you're reusing those human identities for those non-human activities, then if something bad happens, you really don't know where it happened. So that's something that we're going to have to deal with and learn to deal with. Texas is suing the TV maker Hisense. They are watching you watch your TV at the tune of like every 500 milliseconds, every half a second. And then they're taking that data, and even if you're offline at the time, they will save the data until you're online, and then they'll send it to their servers. And of course, they're selling that data. As I said, Texas is suing them. They got a judge to agree that they have to suspend the sale of that data or collection of that data even until this lawsuit is over. I mentioned age verification laws a few minutes ago. Louisiana implemented an age verification law, and now that's I think about 40 states have some form of age verification law, but a federal judge has ruled that unconstitutional. So this is long from over, but we shall see where this goes. Depends on what the folks in black up at the Supreme Court decide to do, but this does point to the challenges of the First Amendment and privacy and efforts to go off and protect kids. The Russian government is actively managing cybercrime groups now. Before they just tolerated them, but now they realize that they can use those to attack their foes. So they're kind of guiding them in the direction they want them to guide, and they're, in some case, taking a share of the proceeds. What if you were involved in a $339 trillion hack? No, that's not a typo. I didn't mean billion. I didn't mean million. There's a game maker who, has virtual currency and stuff that you can buy, stuff like that. And they were compromised, and all of their stuff was stolen. And what the hackers did was they gave every one of the millions of users free money. Now, the game maker decided that the lesser of the evils was to pull the power switch on their entire platform. Kind of a lethal and fatal thing. They are slowly trying to bring it back together. But the interesting problem, that was, their entire revenue stream could have gotten flushed down the toilet and then some if this was allowed to continue. And then in the news bites, Russia is going after critical infrastructure via network edge devices. These are the network devices that are exposed to the public internet and may not be patched effectively. And there are lots and lots of them. There's another undersea cable cut, which is being attributed to Russia. Actually, two cable cuts that are being attributed to Russia. CISA loses a key employee. This is an interesting one. So they had a single employee who was looking at data and warning companies that they were being actively targeted for a cyber attack. And we've had calls from CISA before on behalf of our customers. It allows you to shut things down before the bad guys actually get in. So this guy was told that he needed to go work for FEMA as part of the government's realigning things that they want to do. And, when asked about what they're doing here, warn things, they said, well, there's no law which forces us to warn companies that they're under attack. So guess you're on your own. Have a nice day. This guy decided he did not want to go to FEMA. So he quit. And I am sure, like I often say, he had 3 job offers waiting for him before he hit the front door. Actually, I think he went to work for one of the large cybersecurity threat detection firms. And so he's probably making a lot more money than he was making at FEMA. And this program is now toast. It's literally going away. And FEMA is no longer going to warn companies when they see attacks that are threatening you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Senate Intelligence Committee chair is asking the White House to address open source risks. He's not saying that open source is bad. Nobody's saying open source is bad, but it has a risk. And if you don't know how to address that risk, and the government is a huge user of open source software, if you don't know how to use it, how to deal with and address and understand and mitigate that risk, then that's kind of a problem. So we'll see what the White House does. Likely nothing, but we'll see. If any of these things in the new year make you really, really nervous, please reach out to us. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at your nervousness. But please reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist you. And until next time, stay safe. Thanks for listening.